as as an individual, can you have two bonds?
No, you can't. I've got 2 bonds. No, you can't have 2 bonds. You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
have
yeah.
20.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a guy who has like 60 bonds, like 60 properties. Yeah.
All of them is paying a bond for them. So what? So they keep looking at affordability.
Affordability, credit score, but obviously he's making money from them.
Yeah.
So he applies based on the income that he was getting from those places. So you can have more than 1 or 2.
Alone as an individual,
Yeah, we won.
not like with the partner.
Ah, no, just solely alone. So it's not limited to. They don't limit. It's only obviously affordability.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. But you can buy houses, man.
Yeah, I've always thought Gucci, it's like, you know, like how you'd normally just like, obviously maybe your first house, maybe get a bond
Yeah.
and then pay it off, and then maybe the other ones just keep accumulating by just like maybe buying pictures and buying them cash or
Yeah.
whatever the
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's like that. So if you wanna buy a property, buy them too. Like you're not restricted to one place. It's like, let's say for example you've got 5 kids and you want them when they finish varsity to have a place and you can afford. So you'll buy an apartment, buy this one umnikez, buy this one umnikez. So you can have a lot of properties under your name.
But I don't know why we see it as such a like as if there's like a huge barrier to entry. You know what I'm saying? Like as if it's like, yes, it is a huge step, but we almost see it as an impossibility to acquire property.
I think it's what society portrays. Because the first thing you think about, especially as a guy, I want a car.
Definitely. GTI for a pa!
You understand? I think it's what society gives you. It's what, because you don't see ads on houses when you're sitting with your family watching TV. You see ads on
Cars.
BMWs and VWs
That's
and
quite
Benzes.
interesting, though. I've never thought of that. Actually,
You
you're
don't
right.
see those ads.
You've never. Obviously, the only time is like when, like, maybe when you go to YouTube and type out maybe houses in the south,
understand.
only there.
Yeah.
But there's not like an advert where they're advertising a house.
Nah, there's nothing like that. Like even maybe top billing. I think that was the closest thing we saw to getting like a nice house and
But even then, they were selling a certain lifestyle. It was not really about.
yeah, it wasn't like your normal layman's. But
Yeah.
you don't see ads, so that's why most of stuff is marketing, man. Like you purchase something because you want to associate with that brand or with that area or with that, you know what I'm saying, with that car. I was watching something earlier on today and they were saying so Apple and Nike, they their brand presence is so strongly embedded in our minds that you don't even realize you love the brand even without, let's say, acquiring it. You know what I'm saying? But once you have it, like you associate it with it. And they were saying something so crazy. So they put people under MRI scan. Abama Samsung and then Abama iPhone. Ne? And they were saying disgusting things about iPhones. Yeah, iPhone is cheap. What it breaks all the time. And they could recognize like anger, nerve brain waves,
like
you
the
know,
rage
going off.
inside them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand. And because they were defending the brand so much.
Yeah.
And they asked the Samsung people. They were chill, like no spike in anger, nothing. They were just, and they came to a conclusion that people buy Samsungs because they don't want to buy iPhones.
Yeah. That's quite
It's
interesting.
crazy,
So
but
you become affiliated with the brand. It's an emotional attachment more than anything.
Yeah, it's an emotion because they were saying with you let's say buying Nike it's similar to, and you defending Nike is similar to you having a friend, like a best friend, and them harming that friend and you defending that person. So they were associating it with that, but they were saying what the brands have played it so great in our minds that you don't even recognize it. And Noguti, they sell a certain lifestyle as well. Like Apple users are like this, you know, Nike, I want to Nike, they're like that. You know what I'm saying? So you are associated with that culture. Yabona. But it's all marketing, man.
That's probably a topic for next week, branding. Welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We truly appreciate it. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Uncensored _ the truth about money. I'm your host, Kyajunior Masango, and I'm with
Thami Madlala.
I'll let you introduce yourself because you've declined a few names, prefixes that I've given you. Fede, how you doing, man?
Yourself, man.
Nah, good to see you. Good to have you again, bro. So last week we were talking about home loans. So we're continuing on that topic, home loans. The last question that we covered was we're talking about a bond cover versus a life cover, and the one thing you said that so it's almost when you're taking out a bond, so you have no choice but to get a bond cover with whatever institution that is offering you the home loan.
It's not with all of them.
Okay.
And also, I think it depends on the amount of the property that you're buying.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, with certain people, when they purchase their second property, they don't ask for life covers and so forth.
Okay.
Or bond covers.
Yeah.
Yes, most of the banks will give you a bond cover, but however, it's not a stipulation with you must have it. It safeguards you and your family and safeguards them as well. So yes, it's important to have one, but it's not compulsory for a person to have. For a person to have one. So that's why a lot of people don't believe good. You have to have a life cover for you to have a bond. So, but most of the institutions, they actually pay them up together. So yeah, it's not necessarily a requirement. Yeah.
That's dope. So the longer the term, does it mean the better or the lesser the interest rate?
No, interest rate still stays the same.
Still stays the same.
Yeah, interest rate will still stay the same. It's based on, so the longer the term, because now they give you 30-year bonds. So the longer the term, the lower the installment.
The installment. Sure.
Yeah, the shorter the term, the more the installment. So that's basically it. So it's like you can pay off the house quicker. Like if they gave you a 30-year bond and said, okay, Junior, you can pay 5,000 rand a month, but Junior's paying 10,000 rand a month. So you could finish that bond in half the time. You know what I'm saying? So obviously the longer the bond, the cheaper or the less the installment.
So what are the two most biggest upfront costs?
It was that the transfer duties and the bond registration costs. So transferring duty simply means that the attorneys come and they register. They transfer the ownership of the house from my name to your name, right? And then your bond registration costs. So that's with the deeds office. So you are now paying a certain amount for them to put your name, as a title owner for that house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus minus, how much would you? So these are upfront costs, right? So that means you must have the cash for these. And approximately how much are we looking at?
So it varies on the house that you want to buy, right?
Yeah.
So for example, if you're looking at a R1 million house, you could pay a bond registration or bond. If you're buying at the R1 million house, right? So you could pay like transfer duty or transfer costs of, let's say, 25,000 rand or 30,000 rand, right? And then for your bond registration costs, you could pay like it's always a bit cheaper for the bond registration as opposed to your transfer costs. But you can pay, let's say, 20,000 rand, for it. But the nice thing is that, like, online there are actually places where you could calculate and they tell you, like, Abu Property 24. So if you go on Property 24, hey, I saw this house for 2.5 million. They actually give you a breakdown to say, all right, now this is how much you need to earn, this is how much your installment will be, this is how much your registration will be, and this is how much your transfer cost will be. So there's a breakdown according to the house that you want to buy.
So we were talking off air, and then you said that for you to get approved or to qualify for a loan, it's not that hectic. You can, as long as your credit score is good and they check your affordability and they can see that you afford, you are able to get a loan. But now the one thing that can prevent you from getting your dream home would be if you don't have the money for a deposit or for these upfront costs.
Yeah.
So it's always important when starting the process of looking for a house or buying a house,
Yeah.
for you to have saved up this amount of money so that you can be able to
Yeah, no, definitely. It's like what you said the last time, people should always do their research. So if you know that, okay, I want to buy a house next year, A1 million, you're going through Property 24, you saw this place in this location, or you saw your farm in this certain location. So they'll tell you, okay, listen, you need to have an upfront cost combined of 50,000 rand, for example. Then you know you're working towards something.
Yeah.
Because it's heartbreaking for you to go through the process. You saw this house, you signed the papers, you submitted them. You wrote motivation letters for you to get 100% bond, and then you don't have the money. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's just a bummer. But people must just do their research.
and you can't pay for these like monthly on a monthly. It
No,
must
buy
be
phone upfront.
buy phone upfront cash.
Yeah, buy phone upfront. You can't go into Pick and Pay, but I know your grocery cost 2,000 rand.
You can with what's that shop? Woolies food.
Yeah, I'm
You
a credit
can
card.
with my credit card. Flisp. What is Flisp? I know we spoke about it, but just a refresher.
So Flisp it's a subsidy given to people who don't earn a certain amount, right? So it's a subsidy given by the government to help people qualify for houses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's basically an assistance or an enabler for people to qualify for houses. So they subsidize you a certain amount, then at least you are able to then qualify for a house using that as well. And it only happens once. So you can't have like multiple times. That you can't buy your first property through them and then your second one you want to buy through the subsidy as well. So you can only get that one chance, but they're always updated. It's on, if people just Google Flisp, the details would appear. They will go to how much you need to qualify for and so forth. And there's actually like people that you can speak to who can actually advise you to say, all right, cool dude, so you earn 6,000 rand, 7,000 rand, so this is how much or this is how much we can help you out with. And I think it's not, you see, there's like, as we spoke about earlier, the power of marketing. Like these things are not out there. People, yes, they're running for RTPs. Hey, no, I want an RTP, I want a free house from the government. But they're working, yes, sharp. And yes, it's a good thing to get a free house. Everyone would want a free house. But they don't know about these things, and I think it's not pushed out there to say, guys, go out there and knock on the government's door for a subsidy on getting a place. So yeah, man, people should just do.
Is that the only subsidy available?
Yeah,
to
as far as I know, it's the only one, but I think there's many out there as is Zindlu. So yeah, people must just do their research. But for now, I know it's that one. It's the biggest one I know at the moment.
And do you still remember the qualifying criteria?
It has to be like, I think you have to earn combined household income. I think it's less than 10,000 rand, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. For you to basically apply for, and obviously your credit score has to be good as well. So you can't go, let's say you're under debt review, you're under judgment, you're under, you know what I'm saying, all these bad things, and then you still want to qualify for a house.
So at the end of the day, it's still a subsidy. You still
Still
need
a
to go
subsidy.
through the process
Yes.
like everyone else when you're
100%.
applying for a house.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. So other like designated areas for like Flisp approved bonds, or you can go, obviously I'm not saying go look at a 2 million house and ask for a government for, you know what I'm saying, or can you like choose anywhere in Joburg?
Yeah, you can choose anywhere in Joburg, you can choose anywhere in South Africa, but the house
South
has
Africa
to be
is Joburg.
but the house has to be a certain amount. So they
Yeah.
give you a criteria as well. So obviously, it can't be like, you can't now say, government, I want a 2 million rand house, but you earn 6,000 rand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
good,
yeah.
repayment rate corner is sitting at 12,000 rand with the subsidy. You know what I'm saying? So it's important just to go through the website, check what do they offer, what they can help you out with, and and then you can actually then go out there. If they say, Junior, no, now we can subsidize you know 4 million on a 400,000 or
That would
400
be nice.
on a 500,000 rand house. Then you can go. Then you start looking at houses as cost of that amount. You know what I'm saying?
Sweet,
Yeah.
sweet, sweet,
So
sweet,
it's
sweet.
important just to do your research and check it out.
And then the so look, it's like we can't deny it, right? Things, I mean, with the interest rate and everything else that's happening in our economy, things are a bit expensive now, you know, and how everything is just going. Like
Yeah.
some people say we are in the middle of some sort of recession, right? And what I have, the trend that I've picked up or noticed is that people are now to make life a little bit affordable, they're now cohabiting or staying together.
Yeah.
You know? And I had this interesting term which I was not aware of before, a joint home loan or a joint bond ownership. So so I want to hear from you, like, what is a joint bond ownership?
So a joint bond is a bond whereby either two or three of us, or even more,
Yeah.
can apply for a home loan on a certain house. So if we then decide go to okay, sharp, we moved from Pumalanga, we came to Joburg, but you don't necessarily want to rent, we want to buy a place. So you and I can actually submit all our papers and purchase a property in both our names. So obviously it'll be 50-50 in purchasing that place. So yes, joint bonds do exist. So they can happen between two or three people. You guys don't have to be married. It could be friends. You guys don't have to share the same surname. You don't have to share the same race. It's literally with anyone. So even if you pick up someone from the street, say, hey, dude, let's go buy a house together. You guys can do so as well. You know what I'm saying?
And what's the procedure, or what's the process that you go through? Is it the same as
Yeah,
just
so
applying?
it's the same, Yona. It's basically much the same, but the only difference is that they need both documents from both of us. So they need documents from both of us. So
Okay.
they'll need, let's say, for example, your bank statement, pay slips, proof of residence, and they'll need the same thing on my side as well. And then both of us will then apply for the bond together. Then they judge us based on both of our things combined.
So does that mean then okay, cool. So let's look at this scenario, right?
Yeah.
Let's say I have the worst possible credit score.
Yeah.
And your credit score is good.
Yeah.
Will that help with you? Will your credit score help the both of us to get this loan? Or because of my bad credit score, we won't get this?
No. It actually helps. It's actually advantages for when you're doing a joint bond for someone to be stronger than the other one.
Okay.
So they'll always take the highest one in terms of qualifying.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not dependent on the lower person, or they don't add them and then divide it into two. So it's always a thing you would say. We look at the person who has the best credit score, and that's the credit score that they work on.
Yeah.
So it's not good to they look at or they'll decline us based on your credit score.
Okay.
Yeah. So the other person who's also part of the application will assist if they also have a better credit score.
Yeah.
So it does help you on.
Is it?
Yeah, it does
So
help.
so even if in terms of affordability, even if maybe I don't qualify and you do, they would still grant us the loan. It's not a thing of they evaluate us individually in case there's any risk. Let's say, for example, right? Let's say you can't, I guess it's 50-50, the
Yeah,
bond, right? So
yeah.
let's say you can't honor your 50-50.
Yeah.
Won't they then want your share from me?
No, so remember when you apply for a joint bond, right?
Yeah.
So both our forms go in.
Yeah.
They check so too, and it's
Sure.
credit score, affordability. But remember, with affordability, they look at both our incomes combined.
Combined,
Yes,
not
not
individually.
individual. So if you say you earn 50,000, I earn 20,000 rand, and we wanna buy a property that is, let's say, 15 or 10,000 rand. So look at both our incomes, and then they make a decision based on that. So that's why it's easier for you to qualify for a place if you do have a joint bond. And another thing as well is that even when you're writing down like banking details where they should debit the installments, right? You can give either one. So they won't say, Junior, like if it's a 10,000 rand installment, they won't say, Junior, give me 5,000, and Thami, also give me 5,000. They won't debit both accounts. They'll debit either your account or my account or a third party account. But they will never say, okay, 50% now, 50% up. So it's based on on your combined income, but they only debit one person.
That's pretty interesting, though. It's that's why, like, it's crazy because I've never heard of this before, right? And it's not only limited to only two people. Can be 20, 30. So what you're telling me is we can get 30 guys, and all of us maybe decide to buy this warehouse, and obviously like that we are at a more advantageous position to get approved for that property because it's money and
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, so it's much better man banning fairly. Because obviously the income goes up as well, and then it's much better for them to say, okay, no, these people can actually afford to buy this house here. So that's why I'm showing it's based on all your income, but it's much better obviously to do a joint bond than it is for you to go one man into it.
That's dope. So that means all of us here can buy a podcast studio.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's submit. So when I
So what obviously looking at this, right? There must be some sort of consequences. What are the
So
consequences?
the consequences most of the time they are on our side, right?
Okay.
As us the buyers now, because if let's say yes, it's a joint bond, and we've agreed to say, okay, we're gonna go 50-50 in terms of income as well. So it's a 10,000 rand installment on the bond, and we're gonna go 50-50. You're gonna put 5,000. I'm gonna put 5,000. So now what happens is that Junior doesn't honor now the agreement and says, I wanna pull out. So now it becomes heavy on me, So then even with that, when you then go to the bank, when we both go to the bank and say, Junior wants to pull out of the deal. He doesn't want to be part of this. So now they'll review. It'll go back to what we spoke about in the previous episode, Guti. Now they'll view me as an individual. But the nice thing is that the bond is already in motion as well. So they can't say, okay, I was scrapping the bond altogether. So I'll have to basically step up, in terms of my contribution and pay now more for that installment. But most of the time, that's the negatives of a joint bond is when some other people can't honor the agreement, that that they took initially, So, and another thing is if one person passes away.
Okay.
If one person passes away, you guys don't have a bond cover, then the now the installment falls, or the bigger part of the installment now falls on the surviving partner, if I may put it that way. You know what I'm saying? So those are some of the negatives that are associated in ngama joint bonds. But most of the time, like if it's for investment purposes and you guys did your research, you did your homework properly, then the bond, the rentals should be able to pay for the bond. Yeah.
So it's, with that, so obviously to avoid just like people pulling out, would be obviously to get a legal person involved, sign some sort of contract, so that all that weight does not only fall on you when I decide to like chuck deuces. So it's all advisable to like because I remember this is similar to when we were talking about the property Stockfell. It's almost like a similar thing where it's just like a group of people coming together for just one purpose.
No, it's true, man, and it's basically that. Ukuthi, we're all coming together and we're doing this whole thing. But as we should, let's all, because in today's times it's not like back then where there's a gentleman's handshake. Okay, we are going in this together. Let's shake. No paper deal. I trust you. You trust me. Nowadays, hey, man, like the world is so messed up. We could be happy today, sign the thing, then all of a sudden something happens. You're like, no, we have some sort of squabble, and then you're like, no, I want to pull out. You know what I'm saying? And I want my money back, all the money that I contributed. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe Tologoti, we've been paying for this thing for 10 years, so now you want your share. Which is understandable, yes. But like, guys, if you don't have those legal documents initially to say, dude, if one of us pulls out, no one gets the money. Or if one of us pulls out, you get so much at this certain time. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, it's important to have legal agreements. Even, for example, with spouses as well, husband and wife, most of the time joint bonds are done in that manner. Husband and wife decide to buy a house, you go in together, qualify for a house, which is nice. But then let's say someone decides to pull out on the marriage. Now I want a divorce. Now it's a tragedy. No one wants to stay. No one wants cash. Both parties want the house. You know what I'm saying? Then you must sell the house. Then then some of the negatives happen in that sense. But most of the time, it's mostly husband and wife that go into these type of agreements. But it's not limited to that as well. You know what I'm saying? More than two people can go into this thing.
That's great. It's crazy how we don't know about these things.
That's why
Because that could help. Because here's the thing: you find a family of, let's say, 4 people, or maybe whatever the case may be, and Tolgut sonke siyasebenza, but individually we can't afford. As an individual, I can't afford to buy property.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if we came together as 4 siblings, whatever the case may be, whatever salaries that we're getting, we are at a better position to get approved for this thing. But these are the things we don't know. It's the same thing with Flisp. I didn't know about Flisp until we spoke about it. You know what I'm saying? So... yeah, that's why we have this podcast.
Yeah.
With that being said, Pratamza, thank you so much for joining me. So, just one last thing.
Yeah.
So, let's say, obviously, then the procedure and the processes would be, let's say, for example, I get maybe me and a friend, and we want to buy this property. Then let's say then we can probably just go through a bond originator, then they can be able to help us with that process where we can apply and
100%.
Yeah,
it's still the same process.
Yeah.
It's still the same process. Imagine, obviously, there's more paperwork, but it's still the same process in terms of applying.
And there are still upfront fees.
They don't run away. But at least now it's between 2 people.
Yeah.
So it's much better. But it's still the same process, John. Still the same process.
With that being said, thank you so much, Pratamza. Thank you for coming, Pratamza.
No, thanks, man. Thanks for inviting me once again.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We truly appreciate it. Don't forget, we are on Instagram. We go by uncensored_ the truth about money. We are also on TikTok, uncensored_ financial edu, right? And we are also on podcasting platforms. So Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, as well as Spotify. That's where you can listen to this podcast. So with that being said, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And you can communicate with us on that WhatsApp number on the description box. You can send us questions, you can send suggestions, whatever it is that you can get in touch. Basically, whatever you want to say, you are welcome to say it there. And also, you can support this channel or this podcast by just purchasing our merch, like this lovely sweater that I have on with our big logo. We are loud. We have to be loud. And we also have tote bags, right? You can purchase this. I think they go about 400 Rand, right? So yeah, that's how you can support this podcast. With that being said, we are excited to be back again next week with something more interesting. And we love you. Cheers.